Well, people, I'm back. Another show coming live from the Counselor's Corner. Yeah, it's been a minute. Actually, like 2 weeks, almost 2 weeks since I had did my last show. I think it was on my birthday. Um, Ebony Swanson, thanks for joining me live in the Counselor's Corner. So last time we talked, I think the school year we were like in our pretty much winding down the last couple weeks. Well, it's officially over the school year. It ended on Monday, so it's been kind of sweet these last couple days when you go to work. The sounds of no kids, administrators at meetings, and it's just you and a couple secretaries. So I had a chance to breathe a little bit. But the summer school kids will be back July 8th, so that still gives me a little time to kind of get a few things done. But I'm back tonight to talk about a little show. I typically don't go on Friday nights, but I said, what the hell? All right, who else we got? Marcia, thanks for joining me tonight. Felicia, Chosen Sullivan, thanks for joining me tonight. Carrie, thanks for joining me tonight. All right, so tonight's topic, well, let me lead into this topic. You know what I can't stand, and it aggravates me, and I kind of touched on this subject before on another platform, when women simply don't want to hear the truth from a man's perspective. Hey, Carrie, don't want to hear it, and hey, Marcia, and they think they have all the answers because their daddy Tyrone or their uncle Jesse told them a few things about men. So I'm on here tonight to kind of drop, a few lines. And trust me, I'm keeping it to an hour. You know how sometimes I run over and it's like 11:30, 11:20. It's ending at 11. That's one of the things I'm gonna try to do is to make sure that I stick to that time frame and honor people's time. Good evening, Felicia. So let me read the intro uh, for the show. Are you ready to listen to some thoughts and perspectives from men, or will you continue to draw your own conclusions of how some men think? Or maybe you prefer to continue to have things sugar coated with sprinkles, fudge, cookies, or whatever satisfies your hunger and desires. Tune in on Facebook Live. Well, we're in Facebook Live in the Counselor's Corner. Remember, the call in number is 605 313 5375. The access code is 669542. For those of you that's my regulars, I hope you wrote the number down because, hey, Ebony, because I get tired of typing in it. And this, in fact, this is going to be my last time typing the number in, my last time. So write it down. I'm typing, it ain't even in the part where you can type in it. My typing skills is horrible. And I actually took a typing class years ago, but I ain't gonna tell y'all how I passed the class, though. I'm not gonna tell y'all. I should be ashamed. All right, so how's everybody doing tonight? My man Richie Campbell, thanks for joining me tonight in the Counselor's Corner. So remember, use this call-in feature. Call in. I would greatly appreciate it if you have something to say about a man's perspective on certain things. So here we go. Let's get to it. Just going through looking at my notes. Don't mind me. So it's a couple of little things. These is just little vignettes that I'm going to go through and discuss. Feel free to chime in. One of the first things was a scenario I posted around Father's Day. So I'm going to read this to you. We could break that down, and then we're just going to go right along until it hits 11 o'clock. 'Cause I got enough stuff to talk about, but we're just going to go. And once it's get close and we hit that 10-minute warning, I'm going to let you know, and then we're going to end up shutting it down. Uh, so Malik wanted to spend time with his children today on Father's Day, but he chose to pamper himself. He has always been an underdog when it came to your friends and family. You had no problem spending his street money and laying up making kids with him years ago. But now, because you are in the professional workforce and doing better for yourself, he is frowned upon when he comes around. His mentality is, why bother? The truth will come out one day. Hashtag treat people how you want to be treated. Hashtag changing up the game. Hashtag are you better than him? So, this is the perspective from some guys who, might have been living that street life. And, it was all good when, they were taking you out, buying you the latest fashions, getting you the Coach purses and the Louis Vuitton stuff. But now all of a sudden, you get on your feet, you got a professional 9 to 5 job, and you and your family, y'all looking, frowning on him. So every time he comes around, you got the snickering, the rolling of the eyes and stuff like that. So he said on Father's Day, kind of like, I know I cuss on here. I'm always going to use that as a disclaimer. He kind of said, fuck it. I mean, I'm not going to even go over there and let nobody steal my joy for the day. I'm just going to go pamper myself. Now we know, ladies, that's what it's about on Mother's Day. Y'all feel like y'all gotta pamper yourself. It's your day. Gotta treat yourself. Gotta get a manicure, pedicure, all this stuff, spas and all that. So, do you think it's wrong for Malik to do do a such thing as that to kind of pamper himself and not come around? Because a lot of y'all on Mother's Day, I get it. I understand that some of you'll say, well, we always had a kid, so we want a day to get away and don't be bothered. I can understand and I can respect that. But in this situation, Malik kind of felt the same way. So if you got anything to say about that, type in or call in on the call in feature. Uh, Derek Daniels, thanks for joining. Trish Florence, my friend, thanks for joining. Kiana Curry and J Rob, thanks for joining. What's going on, brother? Yvette Patton, thanks for joining me tonight in the Counselor's Corner. So that was the first one. So if you got something to say, speak now, because like I said, 11 o'clock, I am out of here. I ain't got nowhere to go, but I'm going to be out of here. All right. Second point, from a man's perspective. If you are confused about your future, now this is kind of giving you a little heads up, ladies, a little gem to throw, something that you can use. But if you are confused about your future with him, ask him where does he see himself in 5 years. If his answers have a lot of me's and I's and no us and we's, you have your answer. So think about it. Think about it. You're dealing with this person. He's goal oriented. You like to think and feel you're goal oriented too. So, when you hear him talking about his power moves he's making, it's always about I. It's never about we and us. That should be, a red flag to you. If you don't hear anything at all, then maybe that's when you should spring that question on him to ask. Like, where do you see us in 5 years? Or I hear you saying a lot of things about what your plans is. Where do I fit in? Just to see. Depending on his answer, you already know what you need to do. No one has to tell you. I'm not telling people to go out here and get, break up or whatever. I'm just telling you from a perspective from a man. Another one. Y'all real quiet tonight. Let's get some energy going on a Friday. If he's wrong for you, he is wrong for you. Making him wait will not make him a better person. He is who he is. Meaning, Felicia said exactly. Meaning, you know damn well when you know a person is not the right person for you. You know it, you feel it, your body reacts a certain way, the body language, you feel it in your heart, you feel it in your stomach, you have physiological things that go on. So why carry on and play the game? I don't know, the game of chase, Simon Says, Duck, Duck, Goose, all of those kitty games we used to play instead of maybe walking away. Because waiting and say, you know what, damn, I do want to have sex with him, but I don't want to have sex. I don't want to get intimate until till we actually get married. What the hell are you getting married for if you already know, if you have all these negative vibes and things going on? What the hell are you waiting around for? So you waiting around him coming over, yeah, dating him, sleeping next to you, drooling all over your pillow and farting up your room and all of that stuff, or vice versa, you at this spot. You just, I guess killing time or doing whatever you do. But you have to know that sooner or later, that's not it. That's not it. So why are you waiting around? Can somebody answer that for me? Talk to me, ladies out here. Uh, that Patton said, who's doing this? A lot of people. A lot of people. See, and this is another thing. Everything is foreign to everybody. And yeah, people make comments like this all the time. Where this happen at? Who does this? Please, please. I've talked to many, many, many women. I've been around many, many women growing up. So just period. Co-workers. I got a sister who got a slew of friends. And just what I do on a day-to-day basis. Parents that I have that talk and share stuff with me. So it's going down. It's going down. Maybe not in your circle, and trust me, it's probably going down in your circle. Sometimes people just don't speak on that type of stuff, but you know what it is. Felicia said, "What's the purpose of making him wait? Is it to make her feel like she has control?" That's what I want to figure out. Maybe she feels like, okay, he'll get right. If he want this good, good, or this wet, wet, whatever you want to call it, maybe he'll get his act together. But when you have all those other little physiological things going on in your system, you already know that that's not the person for you. What's up, Dre? Thanks for joining me in the Counselor's Corner. All right, here's another one. If you are in a long distance relationship, how many days could you go without talking to your mate? Research says the average may be 2.7 days for couples in a long distance relationship. So, a couple people responded, and, some women said no days, that's too long. And they said there's no excuse why you can't talk every day. But research says 2.7. I guess that's almost 3 days. I don't know. That may be a little too. That may be a long time. 3 days almost. But what if he has a legitimate reason? Like, how long could you really go without talking to him? Marcia said, I personally feel that there's never a good idea to use anyone for the simple reason she was using him and never had any intentions of sharing a long-term relationship. Whether she ended up landing a professional job, why did she string him along? So she's talking about the first scenario. My feelings would have been hurt and felt used. He did the right thing by not putting himself in a position to be criticized by her friends and family members when he already knew he wasn't accepted by them from Jump Street. Good observation, Marcia, to go back to that scenario. You can't, I don't know. I guess it's called growth. Uh, but I know a lot of women that's been in this situation, been with guys that hustle and do their thing, and they still may be doing something here and there, but you've got your act together. You went on to school and got your, bachelor's. Some of you masters, associates, your RN, and different type of jobs. And then all of a sudden, that person who was probably carrying you throughout. Now you want to act funny. I don't know. I mean, I guess if you give somebody a timetable and say, I really want you, I wish you would get out of that lifestyle or whatever the case is, then, and you kind of set some parameters on that individual and you let them know you moving forward. You can't risk losing everything you worked hard for. So, but I guess the issue is when, the family members and stuff like that get involved, then you got everybody, mom in your ear, dad, your brothers, sisters, cousins, your best friends. So I could see why a guy would say, you know what, I'm not going over there. I'm not even dealing with that. Not today. Not today. Because there is some guys who feel like, oh, it's Father's Day. I'm going to celebrate it big. I'm going to do it up. I'm just not one of them because I feel like, man, you could be celebrated any day, all day, every day. So I don't let that dictate my fate, and I don't get caught up in that stuff. It's just another day. I like, okay, I hope it shoots by. Felicia said, good question. I'll have to try to lapse to see how long I could wait for a phone call. Yeah, so again, that's going back to the 2.7 days. And I guess for a man, like if you're feeling a woman, it should be kind of, if the feelings is mutual, you shouldn't want it to be almost 3 days. You should want that desire to talk to them on a regular basis. But then again, if you're in one of those situations, every time y'all talk, it's a damn argument or something, shit, you can multiply that by two and then make it 5.4 days before the next time we talk. If you're in that situation that you're going back and forth. And I know people might say, how old are these people? I don't know if it matters. Again, I know different people, different age groups, and different walks of life, like everyone else. And it's a lot of people in their 50s or 60s. They still doing this. The vet said, I had a relationship where my man went into the military and was unable to talk every day. We had a good understanding. I trusted him until there was reason not to, but nothing ever happened to my knowledge. And when he had time, he made sure to make provisions to have me come to where he was. Okay, and then it's nothing wrong with that either. To make provisions, and like you said, when he has time, so it got to be something that has to be worked out between the two. But I could say, I guarantee you, if it's a lot of bickering back and forth, that time, not that somebody's punishing you or something, but I'm sure that time it'll be greater amount of time that goes lapse in between phone calls or either visits or whatever the case is. Just my take. I don't know. I'm not the expert. I'm just the counselor here. That's all. And then remember, we can always bounce back and forth on these different things. I can call in as well. Again, 605-313-5375. SX code of 669542. Here's another one. Every man has an ideal woman in his head, and if he tries to change you into that image, he may leave your ass once he finds that person. So what do y'all think about that? And I know women, y'all have y'all image of a man as well. I think the difference is women, you may not be as hung up on the ideology of what that ideal man you're looking for, that you may be willing to make sacrifices if he's nice, he treats you well, and he has other positives or strengths. Felicia said, open doors, open opportunities. Yes, indeed, it does. I'm Kelly Jones. Hello, how you doing? Thanks for joining me in the Counselor's Corner. Nisi Carter Ellis, what's going on, my good friend? Thanks for joining me tonight. So every man has this ideal woman that they kind of maybe fantasize about, or it's something about a certain person. It could be nailed down to a particular person that they always wanted. And they say to themselves, I don't know why I'm struggling with my speech today. I don't know. Maybe it's Friday. Maybe I'm tired. I don't know. Don't mind me. I'll get it right. So maybe they're just waiting for that opportunity to pounce on somebody, and hopefully that opportunity, that door opens for it. But when you see that a person is trying to change your outlook, your style, and different things like that, and when y'all got together, it was never an issue. But now, throughout, y'all happen to go shopping together, and he's always, you should get this. I would like to see you in that. And you're thinking to yourself, like, okay, I don't even dress like that. That's not even my style. I don't show cleavage. I don't wear tight jeans like that. I don't wear rips in my jeans and different things like that. But he keeps focusing on that. Guarantee, like Sir Charles said, that he may be trying to dress you like someone else, some other woman he has in his head. And women do it too. I know y'all do. Don't say you don't. You do. Charlene, what's going on? Peace. Derek Hall, what's going on, good brother? Because some women, you may have been with this guy and you liked his style, you like the way you like the way he dressed, you like the way he smell. I know when you go into another relationship, when get birthday gifts and like and you buy clothes or cologne or oils, you're thinking about that scent that Raymond used to wear. And and then of course your new doesn't know that. He just he thinking, oh, this is nice. This is real nice what she got me. He bragging to his boys, but he don't know that your ass got him dressed like Raymond and smelling like Raymond. Uh, the vet said, no, we don't. The vet, stop it. Please stop. Please, please, please stop. I'm not saying all of you do, but some of you do. Will someone validate what I'm saying? Like, yeah, we have done it before, David. Don't make it seem like I'm just out to the left, because I know I'm not. All right, here's another one. Carl, who is marrying Sabrina, told her he doesn't feel comfortable with her son's dad, or her ex's mother attending the wedding. If it's that important for them to attend, maybe he needs to rethink this marriage thing. Wow, that's deep. So basically, Carl told Sabrina ass, listen, if we gonna do this marriage thing, your son's dad, he ain't coming, or his mama ain't coming. And if it's that important for them to come, then we need to rethink this situation, because I don't want them at my wedding. Now, women, how would you respond to that? If you're with someone and he says, your damn ex-mama-in-law, he might say mammy-in-law, and your baby daddy ain't coming to my damn wedding. The automatic thing y'all would say is, oh, Carl must be insecure. Like, what's the issue? But I guess how many men wants to look at that ex? But maybe it's a situation of co-parenting, that he kind of gets along with the biological dad, and they're cool. They can sit somewhere, have a cold one, talk football, do whatever, and they're okay. And they got the best interest of little Junior, in their hearts. So it could possibly work out. But that's just something I wanted to throw out there. Um, Marcia said communication is a two-way street between a man and a woman. And personally, I don't feel any relationship lasts when it's one-sided. That's why I feel it's important to have that line of communication established way before any feelings should take place amongst them. So when we decide to, so when he decides not to call me, I will fall back and wait on some point. I already got my answers. One thing I won't do is chase behind no man because I value my own self-worth. I will never make a man feel that I am just that thirsty. Okay, Marcia, with your bad self. Okay, you don't do the duck duck goose thing. I hear you. The vet said, "Oh, I need to call in now." Come on in, call on it. Come on, I'm here. Call in, please do. So to go back to that situation, how do y'all feel about Carl telling basically Sabrina, no baby daddy, no ex mother in law? If so, no marriage. Guess he put his foot down. All right. Know what else? Another hot topic that's, I get annoyed sometimes, that is kind of aggravating. That whole LeVar Ball situation. Kelly said, what's the number again? 605 313 5375. You can stroll up and I'll put it in there. I'm not going to type it in there again. Uh, and the access code is 669542. So let me say that again, 605 313 5375. SX code at 669542. Dietrich Muhammad, thanks for joining me tonight in the Counselor's Corner. So, ladies, feel free to call in. Back to that whole LeVar Ball thing. How do y'all feel about that? He was, what's her name? I should have wrote her name down, but it's Jalen Rose's wife. She interviewing him, and I think it was Max, and I'm trying to think who the other guy was. It might have been Stephen A. Smith. And she said, LeVar, switching gears, basically changing the subject. And LeVar said, I'll switch gears with you anytime. I said, so ladies, would you be offended if a man said that to you? So remember, she said, hey, LeVar, switching gears. He said, I'll switch gears with you anytime. That comment actually got him banned from any platforms on ESPN. And I honestly think they did it because it's LeVar Ball. He's kind of, he's a boastful type of guy. He speaks his mind. He says what he wants to say. And, he's been saying it, kind of he pumps up his sons and, makes them, builds them up and kind of builds up their brand. I'm sorry. Unless that's just in your mind, I don't see where that's one of them ambiguous statements that you could take it that way, but he could have very well meant something sexual. I just don't. I wouldn't have banned him based on that comment. There's a lot of things he probably could have got banned for, but just not that. I'll switch gears with you anytime. That could mean I'll trade places with you anytime. Did someone just come in? Thought I heard somebody chime in because I'm still waiting on these ladies. All right. So I just don't think that statement should have got the man banned. And I think sometimes we do stuff based on people's past history, and no matter what, they're set up for failure. And that would be just like sometimes in the school system. Some kids, they don't have a fighting chance. If there's someone to get in trouble and they come in, and it could be another kid starting with them, And if that kid who's always getting in trouble says one thing or gets a little loud or something, he's the one who's going to get kicked out of the class or get an office referral. And he could have been minding his business. So I think sometimes we judge people based on a lot of times on previous experiences without weighing out and trying to like, okay, let's break this whole thing down. The vet said, Carl needs to get his life. And if a person can maintain a good relationship with the parent of a child, then what's wrong with allowing them to come to the wedding if it's his or her children are part of the wedding party? Then what's wrong with the other parent supporting his or her kids? There's nothing wrong with it. If that, if a person like Carl could handle it, but I guess essentially, what are you gonna do? What you gonna do if he puts that pressure on you and says, "Listen, I don't want them to go. So if you want this wedding to take place, are you gonna walk away from somebody that you was gonna marry, or are you gonna talk, have a conversation with them and say, you know what? I don't know how you can win. I don't even know how you can put that one out there because other than that, you're gonna start getting the looks and the little bickering like, oh, she marrying some insecure dude. Next thing you know, he's gonna be putting his hands on her. So I don't even know how you tell your son's father or your ex mother-in-law um, the reason why they can't come to the wedding. Charlene said, I really don't see the problem. Now, granted, some other people, women said, why the hell do they need to come to the wedding? If they're going to be constantly at something, then she's pretty much bringing them into their relationship. So they should fall back. So some women felt like, okay, Carl was, he was well within his right to what he said. Like, it's no need for them to come. So that's the interesting thing. As I said, I would talk to them and make them feel secure in what we have together and what women or men don't want their ex to see them doing good. Hmm, really? Really? I'm just I'm just reflecting on that because I think what you're saying, Devet, you're on to something, and I think that's how it should be. You should want, your ex to do well, but I don't know if it's genuine coming from a lot of people. I think sometimes people sit back and want to see you fail, and especially if you start doing better with someone else, and they wonder like why they got the short end of the stick. I think if they're doing well, just if they're doing well themselves, then they may, all is good. But if they're struggling in, certain aspects of their life, and they see that their ex went off into the sunset and they're doing good, I think some people will question, like, why didn't he give me this energy? We could have been doing all this. We could have had that. Why her over me, or vice versa? He could be saying that. So it's just my observation again. Kelly said it definitely depends on the prior relationship. Ladies, I'm still waiting on y'all calls. Yes, I am. All right, here's another one. This was from good evening, Lacey Briggs. Thanks for joining me tonight in the counselor's corner. This is from my brother Carlos. He had wrote this, and I thought it was kind of funny, so I stole it from him. But I told him I was gonna steal it, so that's the difference. He said, "Ladies, when you friend zone a man, don't you think for 1 second that he's settled for that position? In the back of his mind, he's thinking, hell, someday when you over and he's sitting there, I guess someday when he's over and you're sitting there, he's sitting there watching you go through horrible relationship after relationship until you realize his dumb monkey ass was sitting there waiting on you all along, only to still be friend zone. Dude, forget her. There's too many fish flopping around in the sea, waiting to be seasoned, battered, and grilled. Some even want to be fried. Go put in your order. Oh, Kelly says she's on the phone waiting for me. Okay, I didn't hear it. I should have turned down the music. Hey, Kelly, how you doing? All right, I got it louder. So, what's your take on? I know I'm saying a lot and trying to get through it.
Okay, I feel like this. Why? I agree with the guy. I don't think that her mom or anybody in her family needs to be at their wedding. I
Mm,
mean, because how can you move on? Why would you want to take old baggage and into a new relationship?
mm. So you agree with Carl. So if he told you
Yeah, I
that,
agree
Marcy,
with Carl.
that you would say, okay, I understand, and you would tell your ex and his mother that they can't go to the wedding.
They can't come. No.
Mm.
Right.
How would you go about that, Marcia? I want to know. What would you say?
Because my thing is like this. Okay, if the former guy is her ex, why would she want his family to be at her wedding with the brand new guy? And that's not to say that they didn't have a good relationship. Is she doing this for bragging rights or to throw this up in his face?
Hmm. I have I have no idea. It was something that was brought to me, and I was like interesting, and and the person who brought it to me happened to be the ex mother in law. So she said she was kind of hurt because she was
Oh,
always a part of that woman's life, and she did things with her
yeah.
grandson. So it was, and she wanted to see her happy because her son had moved on, and she felt like she should still be there. Hold on, Marcia. Kelly, are you still in?
Just say that.
Huh? That's the vet. Okay. Well, go ahead, Marcia. Hold tight. I want to see what the vet got to say.
Okay.
No, I'm just wondering. You said that the ex was the parent of the child, right?
Yes.
Okay, so I don't understand how that would be a problem with Carl if the other parent wants to attend the wedding.
Oh, well, see, I didn't hear that part.
Marcia, you heard that part. You heard it. You heard it. Don't try to back down now. What's the problem with that, Marcia?
Do what?
I said, what's the problem with the parent of the child, the ex parent of the child being at the wedding?
Well, in that case, maybe okay. I would be a little bit more agreeable.
I think you're letting her off the hook, personally. All right, did somebody else come in? Kelly, is that you?
Yeah, that's me.
Okay. The vet, Marcia, if y'all want to stay on, feel free. So, Kelly, what's your take on all this? I said a lot.
Well, regarding the last topic you were talking about regarding Carl and his fiance, now, like I said, that depends on the prior relationship. Now, my ex-husband, just me personally, if I was to get married again, I wouldn't ask him to be at my wedding just
Yeah.
because we are not cool like that. I think it all depends on the dynamic between the parents. Now, just like I really don't think that he would invite me to his wedding. I mean, that's just and I wouldn't have no desire to be at his wedding. No offense to him moving on and whatever. And if he's happy, cool. I'm glad you're happy, but I just think it just depends on the relationship. Now, as far as Carl kind of giving her an ultimatum, like I said, that depends on the relationship between her and the ex. Now, if the ex was the kind of dude that was a stand up brother who was there, blah, 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 wasn't trying to bring no drama, well, then I would have to ask Carl specifically, what is your beef with him in particular? Because that to me, if y'all ain't had no bad blood, then I don't understand why you would sit there and say that, especially if there hasn't been any animosity towards the baby mama and the ex and the soon to be new husband. You know, I just think it just kind of depends on, you know, the parties involved. You know, I know people that have invited their ex-husbands and wives to their wedding because that is the kind of relationship that they have. And everybody was cool. And that's a beautiful thing if you can have that. But, you know, it depends on the dynamic, of the previous relationship. It just depends on, there's a whole lot of different things you got to look at, you know.
Yeah.
It's a lot. It's a lot you got to be, you know, look at. It's a lot. You know, like I said, me personally, I would not want my ex-husband at my wedding. I mean, to be honest with you, I want my ex-husband at my house. Like, me and him ain't cool like that.
Wow.
You know, I mean, you know, we co-parent, but we don't co-parent. So it's like, you know, my situation with him, hell no, I wouldn't have him at my wedding. I don't even want him coming to visit me. Like, if you want to come here and see the kids, you come get the kids at the house and y'all go somewhere. You don't need to be in my face because we don't have nothing to talk about.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, and that may sound horrible, but like I said, it depends on the dynamic of the prior relationship. If there's a good relationship, then I don't see an issue with the ex being present, especially if they're cool. He wants to support her because he wants to see her happy because for whatever reason, he wasn't able to make her happy. So in that respect, I mean, hey, support him off of that. But once again, like I said, it depends on the relationship from the prior one. It just depends all on that.
And all of you have some valuable points.
I agree with her too.
Wait a minute, Marcy. I'm not letting. That's my new thing. I'm not letting you off the hook.
What?
I'm just messing with you. I'm just messing. And you know what? And I'm messing with you, and that's the good thing. And that's why sometimes when you have these conversations, you may be thinking one way, but then when, you know, as other people kind of talk about their perspective or bring their personal experience to situations, it may cause you to say, you know what? All right, I could change my stance a little bit on that situation. So I'm just messing with you, Marcia.
Now, David, would I be able to kind of give my own opinion about another question that you had thrown out there regarding? I'm kind of paraphrasing, so if I kind of don't have it right, please correct me.
Okay.
You were saying something about being in a relationship and that person is trying to kind of like turn you into somebody else.
Yeah.
I have a question for you, as well as the other sisters that's in the chat with us. I had a situation where I was dating someone. And now me and this person, we had been dating on and off for over 25 years. Me and the person had kind of rekindled things, whatever. But he claims that he did not have a type, meaning, you know, a woman that, you know, he just liked women. But I found him always commenting on a certain type, but also saying in the exact same breath that he liked what he saw regarding me and my body. So my question to you is, David, you know, I was told by other men that, oh, well, you know, men have their fantasies. That's all that is. Men, you know, that's, you know, all men have that were, you know, they want a woman with a big butt and all this other stuff. And, you know, but, you know, that's just, men just have those fantasies. But now when it comes to, that is something that you comment about and you want my opinion on that, as if to look at that too.
Are you talking about like?
See how you can tell me that you like what you see when you look at me, but you're always commenting about the other.
So before I ask you a question, let me give a shout out to the people who came in. Stephanie, thanks for joining me. Gail, Aisha and Ivan, thanks for joining me in the Counselor's Corner. So are you talking about somebody if y'all sitting there watching TV, or is it like in person, like somebody walks by you at the mall or out to eat and you're like, oh man, she's a nice looking woman, or she has a nice body? Like what type of comments are being made?
Damn, she got a fat ass, babe. You see that?
Wow.
It's
That's
like,
disrespectful.
shit like that, or, we all grown here. If you wish to engage in an activity where it involves more than just you and that individual, to have somebody say, well, okay, if you bring somebody else to the bedroom, I want them to have an ass like her. Okay, but you told me that what you see on me is perfect. So why am I bringing somebody else in here to reflect your supposed dream woman, but you said that you love me?
Yeah, see, with all that, when you start speaking it, like, there's thoughts, feelings, actions, then, the behaviors, like, it sound like, he really wanted to kind of follow up. He wanted your approval on, okay, if that's what you want, we can make that happen. But if you never even entertained talking about no threesome or anything like that, what the hell would make him bring that up? I don't. I mean, you can think something with when you're with someone, like damn to yourself, like she's fine, whatever. But when you start voicing it, like damn, look at that fat. No, that's something different. That's something different right there. Yeah. Because
that's what I thought. But see, I've had a lot of brothers sit there and tell me, oh no, Kelly, all men have their little fantasy thing that they like. All men have that, and it's like, okay, that might be true because I believe all us women, we got our little fantasies too.
But do you voice it? Do you?
I'm not voicing. Like while we, like laying in the bed together. Damn. I wish your dick was big like so and so. Like, what I mean, if a woman said that, you'd be like, "Excuse me? Like, what kind of shit is that? Bitch, you here?
Yeah, that.
And you've been here. Oh, so now I'm not enough. Like, oh wow, for real? Like, shit like that. Like, I have fantasies. I see an attractive man, but I'm not gonna sit there and say, "Damn, babe, shit." Like, I'm not doing that because it's like, okay, if I say I'm with you, I am with you. What goes on in my head is in just that, my head.
Yeah, and so the thing is, how does that play on your esteem if a man is constantly saying stuff
That's
like
my
that?
point exactly. Because I've had men tell me, oh Kelly, you pretty, you got nothing to worry about. But then I hear, but there's always a but. Why is there a but?
Well, when you say but, that disqualify everything that you say.
You cool, but.
Yeah, that disqualify everything. Once you throw that but in there, that disqualifies that statement, what they said. So that's crazy.
But that makes me feel like that's an open-ended compliment.
Yeah.
I used to hear, in my younger days, men would walk past me and say, damn, you smell good for a big girl. Wow. Did you really have to say that? Like, why don't you just say I smell good? Like, I mean, why I gotta smell good for a big girl? Or I hear, oh, you're real pretty for a big girl. Why can't I just be pretty? Why does my weight have anything to do with anything?
Yeah, and I think growing up, like I think that's sometimes part of people's culture because I used to get, oh, you cute to be dark, huh? Like, and you hear people make comments like that, or I don't, and I think that's more about them.
Right. Well, ladies, how do y'all feel about that? Am I tripping to be like, to tell him like, dude, I want to hear that shit. If that's what the fuck you want, go get it. Would I be wrong to say that?
No. And this is Dave. Kelly, I agree with you. First of all, it's disrespectful on every level. whether you at home or you out in public or whatever the case may be. That's disrespectful. Who want to be with somebody like that? And why is you doing that? And again, if they want somebody like that, like you said, go out and get somebody like that.
That's true.
But I guess the issue come into play when if you make a statement like that, do you really want him to go out and get somebody like that? Are you ready for him to make that move? If that's the person that you really want to be with.
But if that's the person, so if he apparently is not the person he wants to be with. I mean, I think a lady or a woman could want. But I mean, that respect thing is a two-part thing too.
Yeah.
I mean, how would she like to feel if she saw a guy out and verbally said things about him in front of him? I just don't think some men, I'll put it, are conscious in what they say and how they react in front of their lady friends. It may be harmless in their eyes, but it can be a tall tale story in her eyes. That's all.
Yeah.
And I think it does depend on the maturity of a man and a woman. Because no decent, seasoned man would ever, even if he thought it, would verbally say that to a lady that he's dating or seeing at that time.
And I remember when I was younger, and we was jerks, and we was at Howard Homecoming, and me and one of my buddies, and we came there with it was a group of us went. So we was up in D.C. Granted, we hadn't traveled the world or been to many places, but it was a different kind of. These women had a different feel, and we came out and said, "Damn, like look at these women and look at y'all." And it was a hurtful comment, but they came back with, "Look at these dudes and look at y'all." But either way, I think we were wrong for making a statement like that. It was insensitive, but again, we were young, we were jerks, but not to make any excuses. But I can remember something like that. As I said, I think I lost connection on the phone. You can call back. Now, am I gonna stick to my time? Oh, Musa Ali, thanks for joining, brother. How you doing? Because we got 7 minutes left. 6 minutes. 6 minutes. Now, I could go on with the conversation, but I just feel like sometimes I let it go on for too long, and so I'm trying to, stick to a certain time. Here's another one, right quick. The statement was, the last time I was part of a serious tug-of-war game was in 1982. I was in the 6th grade on the blue team at 60th Street Elementary School for fun day. So by no means will I ever be in a tug-of-war game with a woman. For you fellas that still partake in tug-of-war, you have my blessings. Have at it. So meaning, me personally, I'm not going to be going back and forth, pulling each other from this end and jockeying for position. At a certain stage, you talk about certain things and you compromise. And, you don't say, oh, it's my way or the highway, or this is the way it got to be, or your mama, your ex-mama and your baby father ain't coming to my wedding. You have to sit down and kind of talk about things and kind of come to a mutual agreement. One more shout out. Rachel, thanks for joining me tonight. Shaneen, Monet, thanks for joining me tonight. So what's y'all take on this tug of war thing? Because I know a lot of people, they just go back and forth pulling each other, or I've been around certain friends without saying their names, and they have full-blown arguments, and I'm like, I did not come over here for this. I will not come back for this. But a lot of times you have, I don't know, sometimes as older people say, people be showing out. So y'all got any take on that little tug of war game between men and women?
Oh, ain't nobody got time for that.
Oh, you don't?
Either you in or you out.
Okay.
And see, once again, for me, it's the maturity of the two people. And I mean, like I said, to me, communication from from jump speed is important. You know, you can't wait until you get into something and things go wrong, then you want to flip the script. It's not fair to that person, nor to yourself.
That's true. I mean, communication always going to be an important
Oh
factor
yeah.
when you look at
And I
this.
mean, you have to, and you know, sometimes you have to say some things to people that you may would normally not say, in hopes they don't take it the wrong way for you to get their attention. Because there's some people who claim they hear you, but yet they don't hear you. You know, and I don't think a person should have to go to the point of being using profanity to be heard. Because to me, I don't do that because that's out of my character. But some people just take everything too lightly.
Let me. Did somebody just come in? All right. I got one more point, and we got 2 minutes. Um, so, ladies, helping a man during tough times is one thing, but if you are carrying him for too long, you are hurting his sorry ass. Um, Women like to be helpful and show support, but sometimes the best thing to do is let him figure things out on his own. And the second point is if your help is too overbearing, you may be creating a wedge between you and that guy. So I know sometimes in certain situations, sometimes a guy might struggle with something, and there's the guys that may be like users, and you might end up like, okay, this is another freaking child, or you have those guys who don't want to be helped, but they kind of shut down in a way. But yet your nurturing abilities is like, I want to help. I want things to be right for him. I don't like when he's like that, but he's giving you the cold shoulder and kind of turning on you because you just want to show him love and support. What's your take on that? Quickly, we got 1 minute.
There's a difference between being supportive and mothering.
Mm-hmm.
If you ain't trying to be out here like me, making it happen, I will not sit there and take care of you. Now, there's a situation if you are going through some things and you're unable, and if we're in a relationship, then yes, I will take that on. But if you just are a lazy ass nigga, no, I ain't got no conversation for you. You better get it where you can get it, but you ain't getting it here.
Hold on. I got to make a public announcement. I forgot to give my mother, Grace Glover, a shout out. You get, moms, no offense, you get wrapped up in these conversations, and I seen your name, but we was in thought, so I apologize not to be ignoring you. Stop being attention seeking. No, I'm just playing, but shout out to my mother for joining me tonight in the Counselor's Corner. So, it's 11 o'clock, and I know this conversation, we can go on, but I just want to kind of stick to the script and make y'all say, hey, that was kind of cool. Let's come back again, because I don't want to, continue to have the long, drawn-out conversation. And I love y'all energy and participation, ladies, tonight. So stay tuned. I might be coming back Sunday for another episode in the Counselor's Corner, but I truly appreciate the people who had tuned in. If you came in late, I'll throw a watch party after this, and then feel free to continue the dialogue and discussion in the watch party. But again, thanks everybody. Thank you everybody who tuned in and called in to participate, and let's keep the momentum going, and I'll probably see you later on this weekend. One last shout out. Sandra Princess Brown, thanks for joining me tonight in the Counselor's Corner. I'm out, sticking to my time, 11:01. Great job by me. See y'all possibly on Sunday. Again, thanks everybody for joining me. I'm out. Peace. Good
All right,
night.
good night.
Good night.